Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I have 4 thrift store makeovers to share with you. I think they all turned out wonderful, so let's go ahead and jump right in. First up today is this spoon rack. I saw on Instagram where Emily Retro used one to display vintage handkerchiefs and I thought it was a fabulous idea, so of course I had to go find myself one. So I'm going to go ahead and spruce up my spoon rack with a little bit of paint. I'm using Wicker White today by Folk Art, and I'm just applying it with a wide flat brush. If you're interested in the products I'm using today, I will link them down below in the description box. If you're on Instagram and you enjoy vintage like I do, make sure you check out Emily Retro's feed. It is an absolute delight, and I think you'll like it, so make sure you go check it out. Alright, so getting back to the spoon rack, after giving it 2 coats of paint, I just went along with a little bit of sandpaper just along the edges to kind of give it a little extra dimension so it wasn't just all flat white, and I think that added a nice little touch. But I also wanted to add a little decorative element, so I picked up this stencil at Walmart. These are self-adhesive stencils, which I have never tried before, and I'm excited to see how they work. So I picked out a stencil I wanted and then centered it at the very top of my spoon rack and made sure that it was stuck down nice and securely. And then I picked out this chalk paint from Waverly in the color Ocean. Along with this medium-sized stippling brush, I will be adding some paint to my design. When using a stencil like this, you want to make sure that you're using just a little bit of paint at a time. So I dipped my paintbrush in my paint and then I pounced it off a little bit in the bowl and then also onto a piece of paper towel before I added any color onto my stencil. And it seemed like that was a good way to do it, so I wasn't working with a whole bunch of paint all at one time, just a little bit at a time to fill in the stencil. Once I had the stencil completely covered in paint, I carefully removed the stencil and allowed the paint to dry. And now I have my new handkerchief rack hanging in my craft space down in the family room, and I absolutely love it. It's such a fun way to display all of the little handkerchiefs that I love to collect. Right now I have some spring-inspired handkerchiefs to display, but I think it's going to be fun to be able to switch it out for the seasons. The next project is this miniature cubby shelf that I found at the thrift store. I see them all the time and I've kind of passed them up, but I realized it might be kind of fun to put some of my small things that I like to collect in them. So I am going to once again start off this makeover by giving it a coat of paint, and I am using Wicker White once again from Folk Art. I went ahead and gave the whole thing 2 coats of the paint and then let it dry overnight, and then I just took a little bit of sandpaper and gave a little bit of distressing just to the edges of each of the little openings of the cubby. The next thing I wanted to do was deal with these little heart openings, which I wasn't a big fan of. So what I did was cut out a piece of thin cardboard from like a cereal box that fit into the square. Then I picked out some scrapbook paper. This is Vintage Valentine by the Paper Studio. I actually found it at the thrift store. I also went ahead and grabbed my Mod Podge in the matte finish, and I'm going to cut out a piece of the scrapbook paper that will fit the size of the cardboard that I've previously cut out. So I'm just going to add a layer of Mod Podge to the back of the scrapbook paper and then place it on top of the cardboard. Once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and wait for that to dry, and then I'm going to add some Mod Podge to the bottom section of the box that has the heart that I want to cover. And then add my paper covered cardboard to cover up the heart, and it works perfectly. I went ahead and repeated the same process on all 4 corners that had the heart shape that I wanted to cover up. For the remainder of the squares, I cut out a piece of scrapbook paper that matched the shape and size of each of the cubbies, and then used my Mod Podge to glue each of them down. Once I had all the paper glued into each of the cubbies, I took my Mod Podge again and applied a layer over the paper to seal it into the cubbies. And finally, instead of using a varnish or a sealant, I decided to go ahead and use the Mod Podge to seal all of the painted spaces as well. And this is how my adorable cubbies turned out. I have them sitting on my shelf in my craft area, and I absolutely love it. Perfect for all those little things that I seem to pick up. Our next project today is this adorable little rabbit cutout that my mom passed on to me, and I am just going to keep it really simple and give it a crackle finish with some paint and some Elmer's glue. So I'm going to start out with this black paint from Apple Barrel, and I'm going to give the whole rabbit a coat of the paint and then let it dry thoroughly before I head to the next step. I've shared this technique before, but it's so much fun and seems perfect for spring, so I'm going to go ahead and do it again. Next, I'm going to take some of my daughter's slime making glue. It's just your plain old Elmer's school glue, and this paint by Waverly. It's a chalk paint in the color Ballet Slipper. So I went ahead and took the glue and I put on a nice thick layer over the whole front side of the rabbit. Then you need to wait until the glue is almost dry, but because I am impatient, I used my blow dryer to do the trick. The next thing I did was add a little bit of the paint in one section to test out how thick I wanted the paint. I used my blow dryer once again to dry the paint. I determined I wanted a thick layer of paint over the whole surface, so I went ahead, I added paint to the whole front side of the rabbit, and then I took my blow dryer and I dried the paint, and as you can see, as it dries, the crackles start to form, and it is so much fun. I just love this technique so much. I did the same thing on the opposite side of the rabbit and on the edges, working in sections, and this is the finished product. I absolutely love it. I think it is so much fun and so adorable, and it's going to look absolutely perfect for my Easter decor. Today's final project are these two finials that I picked up at the thrift store. I'm going to try to give them a weathered look using a crackle finish as well. So I started out with some black paint. Now I wanted some of the wood to show through and I wanted some of the paint to show through. So I just added the paint along the edges to kind of give it a distressed look. And then I added a few blotches here and there around the finial sides. And I did the same thing on all four sides of the finial. And this is what it was looking like when I got done adding the black paint. Once again, working on one side of the finial at a time, I started to add some glue, and I realized very quickly that the roughness of this wood just soaked up all the paint and the glue. So what I did to remedy the problem was to add a layer of glue and to dry it completely to act as a sealer before I went on to the next steps. So once I had the first coat of glue completely dried, I added another very thick layer of glue on top of that, which I went ahead and used my blow dryer to help me dry it almost completely dry before adding a nice thick layer of paint. The paint I'm using is just the Wicker White by Folk Art, which I used earlier in today's video. Then of course I used my blow dryer to blow dry the paint and glue completely dry. Towards the end of my drying process, I used my fingernail to scrape some of the paint off along the edges of the finial wherever I wanted the black to show through. And then I also used this kind of the same technique other places along the face of the finial to remove larger chunks of the paint so that I could get some of that, more distressed look. Sometimes I use my finger, sometimes I use my nail, but in the end, this is what it looked like when I was done. And I think they turned out absolutely gorgeous. I think these are going to be a great addition to my home decor, whether I want to use them as bookends like I am here, or if I want to use them in a display wherever I want a little rustic element. I think they're going to work out perfectly. I hope you enjoyed today's project. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have not yet subscribed, I would love for you to hit that big red subscribe button. And I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye now.